Welcome back, everybody, to TB Sports 27, our final game of the final divisional round. We got Alpha joining us in the chat here, and it's the Portland Lumberjacks who just scored at the end of the first half to snatch the lead to go up 14-7, and what a lead that was, because they're kicking the ball off to begin the second half here against the Chicago Wolverines. So that was a much-needed 7 points that they got. We were just talking in the chat, Alpha Sapphire, he's talking about modded teams. How do you get modded teams on the PS4? Because I don't know anything about this world. I'm guessing it's perfectly legal, perfectly sound, right? But I don't know anything about it. I know that folks have the college football revamped game, and I was very interested in playing that, but I only have the Xbox 360 for that generation, and you had to like send in your Xbox, and they had to do all this stuff to be able to play, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. So we're still playing, and we had left off the last episode kind of talking about NCAA, and I had played probably that game of NCAA 07, 08, 12, and 14 more than any other game, and I think just because the season is so short, it's only 14 games. So if you guys remember my Troy Dynasty, which a lot of those old episodes are going up on our Patreon page, you can check that out. I think like we have 50 episodes of the Troy Dynasty. We did that before I started my YouTube page. I did it on my own, and then I wanted to just bring the team that I had built to people, so that's kind of inspired me to start the YouTube page, and we did it. I think I did like 20 seasons with that Troy Dynasty, and that was where I started with not Wyoming. I started with Akron, got fired, went to FAU, went to Ole Miss, and then went to Troy and had the big career at Troy. And then now lately we've been playing the Utah Dynasty, and same thing. I'd played it on my own for probably like 14, 15 seasons, and I thought about starting over rather than having folks jump right in the middle of the season. But same thing, I was just so proud of what I put together with that Utah team that I wanted to show kind of the folks and we got to have, if you guys go look in the archives, we had a pretty dominant season that we did with Utah. I want to continue that on. I want to try to play a couple more seasons before the new college football game comes out. So when we finish up with the RXFL, hopefully that will allow us to bring some more college football games to you guys, and we can knock out a couple more seasons of the Utah Dynasty and kind of, again, go through. I think we have an episode where we kind of went through everything we did in the past, where that was almost a classic Barry Sanders type run. But rather than start over, because the new game's supposedly coming out in like a year or two, and we don't know if it's going to be good. Of course, it's been so long. We're trying to stay hopeful, but it's EA, and they can toss us a whole bunch of stuff. Theismann gets sacked. Vance Johnson. How about him with the QB sack? Von Johnson coming in there. And that was huge. So it's going to be 3rd and long on what's been a pretty decent drive for the Chicago Wolverines. One thing we do play with is that, it's not really a mod, but where you can do the college. Oh, and Theismann sacked again. That's Johnson that came in again back-to-back. Oh my goodness, that was pretty big for Portland. So Chicago had a really nice drive going. Portland comes up with the 2 sacks, and now all of a sudden they're in the driver's seat here with the Chicago Wolverines. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some more college football going once we wrap up with the RXFL. I want to take a short little break with the RXFL before we jump into a second season, which we're planning as of now, unless we win one of these contests or unless someone wants to help us out on Ko-Fi or Patreon. We're planning on doing the second season on Madden 20, and then we'll get some more college football, maybe do a couple more Utah Utes Dynasty seasons. Don't want to go too full in depth, but maybe, wishful thinking, but we started the second season of, now we had previously played, and I put those previous rosters up on our Patreon page, where you guys can check out what we've done in the past. I was doing those previously on my old YouTube channel, and of course the great YouTube purge of 2020 happened. So a lot of those files are lost to time, so that's another reason why if you jump in, we're like in the middle of, look at this run by Russell Wilson. We're like in the middle of season, what are we on, like 17 or 18 or something for the Utah Utes dynasty. So, but if I can at least get 2 or 3 more years out of it and try to win, because that'd be about for the coach that I have, which is the quote-unquote son of the coach at Troy. I made it his son, which is my name. It would be good, and that'd probably be a good spot to retire, because if you guys remember from my old YouTube channel, I came very close. We went through like 15 years with Utah in the Pac-14, what we called it, because we had kind of the super conference. And then we contemplated going to LSU just to kind of switch it up, because we had done it all, we'd seen it all, we won national titles, we had won Heisman's. Play action fake here from Russell Wilson, and again, he's just going to rush forward and take a shot. My goodness. So the thing, if you guys remember, that held us back from going with LSU is they were 1-11, and it was like no national championship winning coach. You know, we had to think of it logically. No national championship Heisman coaching coach is going to leave his gig to go coach at a 1-11 school. And I realize it's an SEC school, but it's still like the optics of that didn't make sense. So we stuck with Utah. We ended up moving them to the Pac-12, or to the Big 12, which like everyone's moving to the Big 12. So if you guys remember from last season, we had Utah and Colorado, and we moved a bunch of teams to the Big 12, and we did like kind of all these super conferences. Little did we know that's what's going to be happening in real life in college football. So that's kind of, I don't know, a little foreshadowing how that one may have, how it worked out. Go watch those episodes if you're not familiar with them. They're in the archives on YouTube, the Utah Utes college football, and that's something we want to try to bring back. And like we said, get maybe 2 or 3, maybe even a 4th season knocked out before the new game comes out next year. So we'll see if we can't pump that out once we get the RXFL season wrapped up here. And Russell Wilson is going to get sacked again. So Wolverine defense, and that's what we've seen a lot so far, is both these rosters are moving down the field, but then they're getting into the red zone and they're getting hit with sacks. And that's why you got the low score right now on the scoreboard. And Russell Wilson tried to step up. He got hit by the goose. Tony Saragusa laid him out. So 3rd and 18 here as a quick third quarter. We've only been streaming for 8 minutes on this particular episode here. Play action fake, and Wilson. And again, nobody open, so Wilson just stays in there. And Warren Sapp with his 3rd sack. And we had talked about in previous Wolverine games how Warren Sapp had kind of been quiet. Well, he's got it tonight. 3 sacks here in this ball game. So we'll come on for a field goal attempt, which would make it a 2-score game. And the kick is solid through the upright. Ray Wersching. So Wersching hits it, and it is 17-7. So again, you look at the scoring at the end of the 3rd quarter, which gave them the extra 7 points. And then that drive that stalled out where the Wolverines had to punt. So I would go ahead and say that this is a pretty critical drive right now in this football game. A make it or break it drive. Chicago Wolverines got to have something happening here. And, you know, the decisions are going to continue to talk about. Barry Sanders has not played all that well. And you got Todd Gurley. And you know what? Since we're talking about it, I'm going to go ahead and make the change. We're going to go ahead, because he had played so well, we're going to put Todd Gurley back in. We'll move Barry Sanders to backup. Now we're going to be in a passing situation here trying to make this comeback happen, but the big bench is going to happen. Barry Sanders has been slow to come by, and Todd Gurley had lit the field up here as of late. So Theismann just barely gets rid of it. John Stallworth, it's intercepted. Eddie Jackson with the INT. That may have just been a backbreaker. He was hit. I'm not sure who got him. Oh my God, terrible camera work right there. Who's the camera crew out there? There we go. All right, this is it. If the Lumberjacks can get a touchdown drive here, I think you're looking at game over. Terrell Davis with the give. Trying to get behind some of those blockers. Tackle made by Earl Thomas. It's been a hard-hitting defensive battle here. Of course, you know this Legion of Boom defense. Cam Chancellor out there as well. Russell Wilson going against his guys. Cam Chancellor. And there he goes. There goes Wilson. 88 yards. That's what Mike Vick didn't do. Mike Vick was not able to rush the ball like that on our last postseason game. First set of downs. Wilson going to go empty here. Empty set. Oh my goodness, that's incomplete. Woo! Dangerous stuff right there on that throw. There's the give to Terrell Davis. Finds the opening.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
TD, 152 rushing yards between Davis and Russell Wilson here. This is a drive the Wolverines have to have, guys. There, well, that could be the first of many. Jesse Tuggle comes in for his second sack. Winner of this one goes to the national championship to take on St. Louis. It will either be the second meeting between St. Louis, or the third meeting between St. Louis and Chicago division foes, or I'd have to look at the schedule, but I think it'd be the first meeting between Portland and St. Louis. And again, boy, Russell Wilson taking some hits out there. Remember, Cam Newton is your backup. 105 yards rushing, Russell Wilson. He is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Schofner stays on his feet. Oh my goodness.
Let's go. Let's do this.
This could be the back-breaking drive, not only taking a lot of time off of the clock here, but you get that touchdown, you can LA kiss this one goodbye. There's I don't know, we got Jesse Ventura. Is he joining us for another one? Maybe we got to talk to Jesse on the sideline again. Let's go to Jesse Ventura. He's got Coach Payton on the sideline. What's going on? Well, let me tell you something, brother. We're down here. That sounds like Hulk Hogan. That sounds like Hulk Hogan, brother. But he's down here, and he's got frustrated. He's got the visor. He's pulling the hair out. He's throwing the visor down. Barry Sanders, you know, he tries not to show the frustration because Barry Sanders is a team player. You know that, Gino. You know that. He's a team player, but he wants to get in there. Oh, there's the touchdown. That might have just ended it. Frustration happening on the sideline for the Chicago Wolverines. Meanwhile, they're excited. Portland is getting ready. They're thinking they're going to host along with Toronto. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Jesse. Jesse with the report down the field. Marcellus Bennett with the score. And that might just be it, folks. So now we're looking at your final four, possibly. I don't think a comeback's happening. If you're looking at your two home teams, you're looking at Portland and Toronto as your championship game, which would be a good one. It would be Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson. How about in the Legends League, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson might stand out on top. You could have St. Louis taking on Toronto. You could have St. Louis taking on Sacramento. Or you could have Portland in the mix And they could be, no, we said Portland. Okay, what are, I just lost my train of thought. I was trying to think of the comeback. All right. It would be Portland against either Toronto or Sacramento, which would be the Wood Bowl if it was Sacramento and Portland, right? Or it would be St. Louis going up against either Sacramento or Toronto. So it could be Rhinos Huskies. It could be Rhinos Redwoods. It could be Lumberjacks Redwoods. Or it could be... Hold on here, 1st and 10. Theismann. There's that grab. Wow. It could be Lumberjacks and Huskies. I don't know. Go write down all the scenarios. Let's see. Paired with coach history, offensive. Wow, you're going in depth. Alpha Sapphire getting really crazy with his modding skills over there. He's a mad scientist, right? That's pretty cool, man. That's awesome. So do you get all 100 teams in Madden? How does that work? Theismann stepping up. It's intercepted, and there you go. That's going to be game. Arenas Williams in a pretty dominant performance here. And I think your two most dominant performances are going to come compliments of Portland and Toronto. So for the Chicago Wolverines, who was the former Ann Arbor Annihilators, who kind of went through this thing before as Ann Arbor, where they had this top record, and they would start strong and finish weak. They finally won it all in Season 4, and it looks like it's going to be much of the same. Another strong start, 9-0. They lose 5 in a row. They went on a 2-game winning streak. Winning streak. And they went into the playoffs. They knocked off Dallas. But it is looking like that is going to be the Portland Lumberjacks, who now moved to 16-1. And, you know, it's going to eat at them. That game with Columbus that they couldn't get the win in. And it was one that we played, so you can maybe say it was our fault. But what a run this would be for Portland Lumberjacks, who were previously the Portland Ironmen in our last league, and they had a short run, and they had some issues with housing, and they had to move down to San Diego and stuff for a time, and all went crazy. But either way, it's all in the community section for all 100 teams. How crazy is that? People are crazy with what they can do in Madden. That's why it's like a shame. Like, I mean, it's gotta be painstakingly hard work to make a football game, to make any kind of sporting game. But when you see what just fans can do in their free time, and then you see kind of like what the game that you get sometimes, it can be like a little disappointing, just to say the least. But either way, timeouts you would think are going to start getting burned right here. 67 yards on the ground for TD. We made good time. This is about a 2-hour session that we did. And we knocked out 2 postseason games. So we'll be down to just 4 games remaining in the RXFL. The American Championship, the National Championship. I'm assuming we get to play the Legends Bowl, which is the Pro Bowl. I don't know if they're going to do some weird thing because we're controlling all 32 teams. If there's like some thing where it can only be single, I don't know. I expect anything, but I'm assuming we have at least 4 games left in the season. So it would be your American Championship, Sacramento traveling to Toronto, and then your National Championship of St. Louis traveling to Portland. So St. Louis, Portland, Sacramento, Toronto. Who had that as your Final 4 on the bingo card? I don't know. Maybe some people had the Lumberjacks there. I don't know if folks had the Redwoods off of their losing streak. I don't know many folks had the Huskies there. But it is going to happen there. It's a lot of northern teams, you know. You got Toronto way up there, St. Louis pretty high up, Portland as well. And Sacramento, I mean, California style, so Theismann just trying anything. It was not one of his better performances, and that's going to be intercepted again. Just trying anything at this point, and that is going to be your football game. Game over. It is done. Ladies and gentlemen, the Portland Lumberjacks, and you can see the disappointment right there for Joe Theismann, who was trying to have his big comeback year. You know, he did a year with the Omaha Firebirds, and the Firebirds might have to move back to Omaha soon, because if we do get the new Madden, there's a Vegas team, Alpha, right? And then we'll have to maybe move them. And now we have Omaha, which was not a team previous to this. Chicago's not going to take the timeout, so for the Wolverines, they were 9-0. They were the class of the league for much of the year, and you'd have to think it's going to end in a disappointing fashion here with the way this will end. But no shame in losing to a team that's 15-1, although they want to get the win as a former 9-0 team. And I want to hear your guys' predictions. We know Alpha said he thinks Toronto is going to get it. I want to know, what do you guys think? Who is going to go to the Ultra Bowl, and who is going to win it all? National championship, we now know. Portland will host St. Louis. We got a couple West Coast teams in Portland and Sacramento. We got St. Louis and Toronto. Who's going to get it done in the RXFL? The favorites, you'd have to think, are the Portland Lumberjacks. Toronto's got a lot of momentum. Sacramento's got a lot of momentum. Look at those numbers on the left side of your screen. Not pretty at all. If you're a fan of the Chicago Wolverines, they didn't break the 100 mark anywhere. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us here on TB Sports 27. Thank you so much, Alpha, for joining us. I hope you enjoy your college football revamp that you're doing over there on Madden. I mean, neither quarterback really lit the world on fire, but 24/7, that is your game. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it here. If you want to catch any of this action that you missed early and ad-free, we're going to upload this entire stream on our Patreon page. Sign up over there as a mega fan, a super fan, or an ultra fan, and you can get all these streams early and ad-free. This video is not going to come out on YouTube until mid-November, so you got some time to go over there and watch that. Help support the channel as well on Patreon. Become a member of our Discord channel. Watch all the bonus extra streams that we do. There's going to be an exclusive RXFL package like we did this season with Sunday Night Football that's going to be exclusive to Patreon, so you want to check that out over there. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on X. We're tweeting a lot over there these days. You can interact with us one-on-one. Subscribe. Thumbs up on YouTube. Here, follow along with us on Twitch as well if you want to join us live, and consider supporting the channel at ko-fi.com/tbsports27. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Alpha, thanks so much for hanging out with us in the chat. My goodness, guys, I don't know, this weekend, we might just knock out the rest of the season. We'll have to see. We got 4 games left, and when you get so close, you're kind of itching to see who's going to be the championship team, so we might just be doing a lot of football here down the stretch. So stay tuned. That's the RXFL National Championship. Portland hosting the St. Louis Rhinos, and in the American Championship, it's the Toronto Huskies hosting the Cinderella Sacramento Redwoods. Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and as always, we'll see you next time.